Hello Internet. So today we have this AMD Radeon Pro W7800. So what's wrong with this? I don't know. Customer said that it's not posting. So it could be no power, it could be short circuit, it could be anything in between. Let's check for a short circuit before we power it on. So let's check 12. 12 is good. 3.3. Nothing on 3.3. We can check the data line while we're at it. First and second are the same. Okay, go back to resistance. On the back we can probably check, I don't know where memory would be. This is probably VDDCI. It could be memory though, so that's either this is memory, most likely, and then the VDDCI is here. Yeah, looks like 2, 3, and then we got the GFX, and then in here more GFX, most likely SoC in here, and the USR I think is, why is it reading 6 ohms? No idea. Either this is SoC or USR, I'm not sure which one's which. Who cares? What about them 12 volts? So nothing here, nothing here, nothing at all. Do we have access to things like 1.8 or things like that? I don't think so, because all of it is behind the cover. So without taking the cover off, let's take a quick look around the back over here. If there's anything knocked off, nope, everything is looking good. We can check the data at these capacitors here. This one's good, this one's good, clock reference, and negative on the PCI Express. Okay, so that looks good. I don't know if there's any short or not. Doesn't look like it. At the very least, we don't have the short on the main. So this shroud here is very close to the board. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. What happens is they could sometimes damage the board, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's power this thing on, see what it does. And we're pulling just 1 amp, which I think is a little low. But we have no GFX running, and this is a 7800 series GPU, so chances are no issues with the power. So let's boot the card and see if it posts. We have standard HDMI, standard DP ports, and then this weird doohickey here, we're not gonna use that. I do have an adapter, but I don't need it. Okay, let's plug the DP port into one of them holes and see what's on the screen, if anything at all. Alright, the card is posting right away. Okay, let's turn it off. Gonna try a different display port. I want to make sure that every single port does work. So this one is also posting. Well, let's try one last display port, and the card is posting. Okay, what was the complaint again? Let me go ahead and read the note real quick. And the complaint was no display, and we have a display. So we fixed it just by looking at it. That's right. Sometimes I get them GPUs here and all I do is look at them. Now we got a black screen, so I'm gonna wait for the drivers to pick up. I don't know why AMD does this. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely despise AMD graphics cards, is that you may get an image at boot, but there's no image until the drivers are installed. So how do you suppose a user can install drivers if he can't see what's on the screen? He can't. So you can see the system is still responsive, no problem there whatsoever. Yeah, so we're not hung or anything. The card is still posting, but I can't see anything on the screen, and I cannot see anything on the capture card either. That's why AMDs are a cancer. So that's probably, I mean, that could be one of the reasons why the owner of this card cannot get the image. So, but I don't know. We're just gonna wait and see if the drivers will pick up, and let's go and switch back to the display port. And as soon as the drivers pick up, yep, there you go. Stupid AMD. You guys think I hate AMD? I don't hate AMD as a company. I hate what they do. And what they do is pretty dumb. Not to mention reliability issues are just never ending. But who cares? You want a good AMD card, get 7900 XTX. That's gonna be a go-to card. So everything's looking good. Let's close this. Just gonna run some tests, let the customer know that everything is fine, and the reason for no display may very well be what I have just demonstrated to you, and that may also very well be the reason why you're not getting the display from AMD, and you get a display at boot but nothing past Windows logo. That's probably why. In any event, I'll run some tests so I have something to show to the customer, and hopefully you learned something today, and I'll see you later, and thank you for watching this very short video. Goodbye. Alright, since this thing was overheating a little bit, especially on the hotspot, I decided to open it up and have a look around. And basically what I'm seeing here is that this is a 7900 XTX or XT core. Basically it's not 7800 core, it's a 7900 series core with 2 memory channels disabled, and we have double the memory, so 32 gig memory on here. And so my educated guess that W7900 Pro would be nearly identical, with the exception of every memory channel will be populated, giving it 48 gigs, and the core itself will be more complete. So it would be basically a 7900 core that's 100% complete. Everything else that was after that is defective, has defective memory channel, defective compute sections, regions of the core that are disabled, subsequently creating us a lower tier product, lower tier graphics cards such as this one here. Then the next one to follow will be 7900 XTX. The next one to follow will be 7900 XT. And when it finally gets to a point where half of the core die is defective, they cut it in half, and then they give you 7800 XT. So that's basically how it works in a nutshell. So doesn't matter. Doesn't look anything special. Looks like a very typical GPU board layout, whatever, with the exception of no HDMI, but they put this display port here instead of the HDMI. I forgot what it's called. And that will be it. I'm gonna go ahead and service this, put some new pads. The unfortunate reality of this is that we have memories on the back, and then obviously I'm gonna have to replace these pads too, but there's hardly any mass to this to cool the memory efficiently, though the memory temperatures weren't as critical as the core. The core was getting 15 degrees delta and over, so hopefully new paste will fix that issue, and that will be it. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day, and goodbye. Alright, welcome back. So I reread the note the customer had sent, and it looks like he's complaining about the no display, but the intermittent display loss. So in this case, we're gonna have to take the GPU out of the riser and put it into the slot, and we're gonna let it hang. So he said display loss intermittently on all ports, which means there could be a potential issue with the sagging of the GPU. I highly doubt that, but we'll see. After all, it has Samsung memory on it, which we already know by now is cursed, and it does not like to be sagged. So let's see what it does. So we are now right there. We got black screen. Perfect. So we now know exactly what to do. Let's switch over to the main. The system is still responsive, so we're gonna go ahead and shut down. Let's see if rebooting will bring the display back up immediately or not. Okay, so it does boot right away and it displays. Okay, so let's go and shut this thing down. So it looks like it does need repair after all, unfortunately. See, the thing with Samsung,
you know the thing,
they will post, but there's a problem under the chips. A micro crack basically, and as soon as any significant data or large amounts of data need to be processed, which is usually not the largest amount, but enough data needs to be transferred between the core and the memory chips, all hell breaks loose. And because of that little tiny micro crack or half-ripped pad, the signal gets lost, the integrity of the signal is lost, and we get a no post situation shortly after driver is initialized. What we're going to do, by the way, 0.75 millimeter pads were perfect. So what we're gonna do is, we'll see, probably gonna take this one out and take this one out, reball them, and see if that fixes the problem. And if not, then the problem is probably under the core itself, since the core die is so large and it's so close to the bottom of the GPU. That's likely what happened. Even though you'd think that this card would be installed inside of a server rack and it would be mounted vertically, it was probably mounted horizontally instead. Alright, CPU just came in for that AGP motherboard, and the board would not post. It would still do the exact same thing, so my guess is that either BIOS got corrupted or something. The battery was kind of low, but I did replace the battery and it still didn't work. So I guess I'm gonna need to figure out if I can reflash the BIOS on that board or buy a new board so I can continue on diagnosing those AGP cards. So this one here is reballed 2 chips at the bottom. If it posts, it will probably be okay, but let's see what it does. Oh, it looks like it's posting. So I'm gonna intentionally bend the card to expose any kind of issues. So we're getting a Windows logo, and yeah, posted perfectly fine. Now what's interesting about this is that you've seen how it refused to post until the driver's installed, but now, as you can see here, it posted right away, and even the drivers picked up right away. That's weird. I plugged it into a different slot, so I'm not sure why it registered so quickly. It wasn't supposed to, but who cares? It posted, and let's go and assemble it. I'm guessing it should work now. If not, I'll have to reball the core. So that would be it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're into that kind of content, and I'll see you later.